Hello and welcome to this brand new recording, Total Relaxation. My name is Peter Kingsford-Petley and I'm a coach, counsellor and clinical hypnotherapist. What you're about to experience, as the title of this recording suggests, is total relaxation. And by total relaxation, I mean a level of relaxation that you most likely haven't experienced before outside of sleep. Now, because this is a hypnotic recording, it must never ever be played while in a car for obvious reasons, or at any other time when your attention needs to be 100% focused on something else. And all you have to do now is to find a nice, comfortable place where you're not likely to be disturbed for the next little while, and please make sure that your phone is either turned off or is in airplane mode. And for maximum effectiveness, please listen to this using either headphones or earbuds. Now, if your eyes aren't already closed, you can allow them to close now. And as you do so, you can take a nice deep breath in and let it out again. That's right. And begin to relax. And sometimes that's all it takes. All that's needed sometimes is a nice deep breath or two to recalibrate yourself, to rediscover your equilibrium. And when you close your eyes, you send a signal, a message to the rest of your body that it's time to let go and relax. And imagine a wave of relaxation steadily moving down from the top of your head all the way down through your body, down to the tips of your toes, touching every muscle, cell, and fiber of your body, releasing any residual tension, simply unwinding from your head to your neck and shoulders, releasing and letting go of any residual tension. That's right. Down through your chest, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, hips, thighs, all the way down into your legs, into your feet, all the way to the end of your toes. And as you continue to relax and listen to me, it's important to know that you don't have to pay attention to every single word that I say in order to begin to relax completely now. In fact, you can allow your mind to wander if you wish. But for now, as your eyes are closed, you can allow yourself to imagine that every muscle and every cell of your body is ready to relax. And this will signal the rest of your body that it's time to relax, and there's nothing that you can do actively to help this process, because after all, that would seem a little bit too much like work, wouldn't it? And right now, you don't have to do anything except realize that this is time that you've set aside for yourself. And as you continue to relax more and more, you may find that you may begin to miss some of what I say, but that's okay, because it means that even now you're beginning to allow your conscious mind to take a back seat for the next little while. Your subconscious and unconscious minds begin to pay attention to the positive and beneficial suggestions for relaxation that you'll hear from me. And as you continue to relax now and let go even deeper, you know that you already have everything that you need within yourself to access this special state of mind and body, where you're no longer aware and really not concerned about the how, the why, and the when, and the web simply enjoying this pleasant feeling of no longer being responsible for whether you feel really good or just really relaxed, or why it's even necessary to think about that right now. That's right. Especially when all you really need to do now is to relax, release, and put to the back of your mind any thoughts about whether you really need to understand at a conscious level the things that I'm about to say regarding that. And of course, you're not required to consciously remember everything that you hear, although it's more than possible that you may, and a part of you will be listening, of course, or to be more accurate, you will be hearing, because as you're already probably aware, there is a subtle, and some say not so subtle, difference between hearing what I say and listening to what I say. Because people often hear some of the time, but don't always listen all of the time. But you're beginning to get my train of thought, my drift in the direction that your mind wants to take you to. Now, drifting, floating, dreaming, rocking, relaxing and releasing all you no longer need to hold on to. And I'm sure that you do know how to let go. And just remember that it's not important to not think about what it is that you don't have to. Realize that it's no longer important or necessary for you to even think about what I'm saying. Which doesn't, of course, mean that I might not be about to say something that isn't of real value about how you're relaxing and allowing yourself to go even deeper now with every breath you take, with every beat of your heart. And as you begin to remember how relaxed you felt in the past, perhaps you can imagine how much easier it becomes for you to go inside. You can experience the sensation of allowing yourself to relax both your body and your mind, perhaps remembering the last time you felt as relaxed as you do right now, don't you? And that may have been just before you fell asleep last night, or perhaps the night before, or the night before that. You can just allow yourself to let go and stop trying to understand at a conscious level that which your unconscious mind has already started to resolve for you at a speed and at a rate at which you are most comfortable, allowing yourself to let go now. And each time you listen to this recording, you'll discover that it becomes so much easier to relax in the future, and you'll be able to relax so much more quickly and easily and effortlessly. And even though you've just started, it might be interesting to just be aware of your breathing now and see how it's changed from when you first started relaxing, which could have been just a couple of minutes ago, although it's kind of difficult to tell, isn't it? Because perhaps we should begin now. You'll discover that it's not even necessary to try to keep track of time anymore, and it's good to lose track of time and some other things that you don't need. Because the easier it becomes for you, the real you that is able to move within and navigate your own life without difficulty, moving without any stress or any anxiety, going with the flow, finding the path of least resistance. That's right. Knowing, as you do know, that when you let go, everything else that is unnecessary for you to hang on to simply falls away. And whatever falls away is what you don't need. And whatever it is that you don't need, you can do without. And whatever it is that you can do without, you can let go all the way. And I know, and you know, that you know how to let go and remember that it's not even necessary to hang on to every single word that you hear me say, because when you allow yourself to go even deeper now, you discover that all that's left is comfort. Because if prose can be defined as the result of producing unfamiliar combinations of familiar ideas, then doesn't it make sense that maybe there just might be some ambiguity in that space when you discover that it's no longer necessary for you to think about what I'm saying? Which doesn't mean, of course, that I might not be about to say something that isn't of real value about how you can relax and go even deeper now and allow that part of you that always has your best interests at heart, your unconscious mind, to help you now. And because you know yourself better than anyone, and now you know what you know, in this regard, no one knows better than you how to give yourself permission, not just how to feel calm, tranquil, relaxed, but also how to live and experience everything you can well. You can. And all that you know for a reason. And what you don't know for a reason. And should you need to know what you presently don't know now, know that your unconscious mind will, just as it did before, let you know what you need to know in order that you can let it all go now, relax, and go deeper still. And that part of your mind that's responsible for all behavior, all learning, and all change will listen to and take on board any and all suggestions for total relaxation. And your unconscious mind knows how to tell the difference between the words weaving, surfing, coasting, twisting, turning, falling, relaxing, patiently, simply allowing the words to tumble like snow from the sky, cascading carelessly, effortlessly, sifting like flour, refining your understanding, now enjoying the process of listening and learning, as one might listen to a beautiful language that you're only slightly familiar with, enjoying the sound, picking out words here and there, while enjoying the cadence, the rhyme, the rhythm, and the rise and the fall as you're preparing to. That's right. Especially when everything you've experienced up to this point has happened more or less without your being consciously aware of it happening, and all the while being so comfortably aware of not having to think about what would happen if you didn't think about what wouldn't happen if you did. Understand completely and absolutely that your subconscious mind is easily able to relax at a far deeper level than you may at first be consciously aware of. That's right. And as you listen to me speaking to you now, from time to time, even though a part of you may be consciously aware of what I'm saying, at least in the beginning, it wouldn't be at all unusual for you to discover that a part of your mind, quite apart from the part listening to me now, decides to stop trying to understand on a conscious level that which your unconscious mind has already started to take on board for you and has already begun to resolve for you at a pace and at a rate that's most comfortable for you. And so, if you discover at any point and at any time that you begin perhaps to lose track of what I'm saying, or to miss a word here or there, that's perfectly okay, because you can settle back, relax, and enjoy the process of learning through your unconscious mind. You become aware of how you too can make the shift towards the life you want by simply being present long enough and getting out of your own way long enough to allow it to occur as you experience the slow, pleasant detachment that accompanies total relaxation and deep trance. And you may be experiencing several interesting transitions that may have a curiously confusing, if not delightfully intriguing effect that you may think is solely intended for your conscious mind. And you know what? You'd be right in knowing that they really are not. They're for something so much deeper and more expansive that you haven't as yet noticed, but can begin to now. And I may have mentioned before that just because I said that it's not necessary for you to hang on to every single word that I say, doesn't necessarily mean that I might not be about to say something that isn't of real value to you about how you're now able to access a level of relaxation and trance that is completely new for you. And so, it's not necessary to not think about what it is you don't have to, in exactly the same way that you don't have to try not to imagine whatever it is that you think you can't. Because that part of your mind that doesn't have to ask what would happen if you didn't think about what wouldn't happen if you did, is already in the process of taking you easily and effortlessly so much deeper into that place that you've been to so many times before without consciously being aware of it. And every sound that you hear, whether inside or out, helps you to go deeper and deeper into trance, which means that because you're able to listen to my voice, and not just listen, but hear as well, you can be here or over there somewhere and still focus on my voice as you become aware of your breath that comes and goes. As you take a breath in, relax and breathe out, release, as your unconscious mind takes you deeper and deeper into a state of peaceful, tranquil calm, where you feel centered, empowered, and completely in control as you're floating, drifting, dreaming, rocking, relaxing, and releasing all you no longer need to hold on to now, forgetting what you no longer need to remember in exactly the same way that you can remember what you no longer need to forget now, and let go even deeper, floating down to find a familiar, comforting pattern, because it's so easy to imagine, isn't it, listening to someone speak in such a way that every word calms and relaxes you, slowing you down, like finding a comfortable rhythm. And some sounds, certain sounds, seem to slow down such perceptions as time, and even if that sound should be the ticking of a clock, or the slow, steady swing of a non-existent grandfather clock, that would merely indicate the certainty of the passing of time, and not the rate that time actually passes, if indeed it passes at all. Because we all look for patterns, and patterns, you see, there's an order, a sequence that's there to be found in the things that are natural, not made by man, that you find in a shell, or the sea, or the sand, and the sound that you hear as the waves hit the shore, that you're sure that you've heard, so familiar now, echoes of something you've heard in the past. And sometimes a rhythm is there to be found. It's a signal, a sign that you listen to sound, that you hear to feel good, to feel fine. That's the key. And so now, as you're here, you're listening to me, and right now you let go and discover the space that you never had dreamed could be far, yet so near, so relaxed. And release all those things that you know will enable you now to just go with the flow and relax. Because when you do, and you realize it's time to leave this particular train, you relax and release and go off once again to that place that you know you can get to again when you want to and need to return to. But when? And you can and you will when you find yourself thinking those thoughts that present themselves, thoughts ever linking to feelings, emotions, you now have control over. Now that you know there's a place you can go to relax. And not even the people, the papers, the hustle, the bustle, the rain when it's raining, the wind when it's blowing, the sun when it's shining, your mind when it's knowing the time and the place to get off of this train, which is when you arrive, whether sooner or later, you're feeling so good. And any time that you feel that you just want to chill and no longer aware of the things in the past, that no longer are things, as you're now well aware that you're feeling so good that you no longer care about anything else except feeling so good. And you can once again and again and again. And during this time, you've been listening to me. There's a part of you now that knows just what to see when you look and you feel and you find what was there all along. In the back of your mind, you were humming a song, and the song that you heard made your mind feel so still. And you realized at last that you're able to chill any time that you want to. You can, and you will. And so, from this point on, every time you listen to this recording, you will find that you very quickly begin to access that familiar and very welcome state of trance, which allows you to explore your own thoughts, feelings, and sensations at a very deep level as you listen to my voice, completely allowing yourself to let go, with no preconceived expectations except, of course, your anticipation of a positive and rewarding experience. You notice lots of things during the course of your day, and some of those things demand your attention, and some don't, and you choose not to notice these things. And in the same way that you can choose to give your attention to something of a positive nature, you can also choose what not to notice. We go through much of our day choosing not to notice many things that aren't necessary for your attention to be on. And usually we aren't aware of the things that you choose not to notice throughout the course of your day, because you tend not to notice them on a subconscious and unconscious level. And right now, all you know is that it's not important to not think about what it is that you don't have to, because you realize that as you begin to relax, that you're outside of those who do. And when this happens, as it almost always does, you begin to enter that lovely twilight state. You know what that feels like, where you're not thinking about anything that you don't absolutely have to think about, relaxing, going even deeper now as you allow yourself to simply float and drift. As you're floating, drifting, dreaming, rocking, relaxing and releasing all you no longer have to hold on to. And when you do, as you almost certainly will, you find, don't you, that you're already there somehow, and yet you really didn't try. But then again, no one does. So as you decide to let go completely now, and go all the way, that's right, you can begin to recall what it's like in those final moments before you go to sleep. And it's not an instantaneous thing. But on the other hand, it's not that gradual either, is it? No, what you do know, however, is that once you've closed your eyes, you're hardly aware on a conscious level of the transition between your being barely awake and allowing yourself to gradually drift off into sleep, although you won't this time. That's right. And because you've already accustomed yourself to allowing yourself to relax so deeply and so quickly, in fact, to the point where you hardly have to make the effort anymore, because sometimes it's easier and easier just to go along with it, isn't it? Going along with the process. Sometimes, but not always, knowing exactly how you got there. But that's not really necessary to know, is it? The nice thing is that you can completely trust in your own ability to take you there, easily and effortlessly, because it's an ability that we all have from birth. And because you've already been there so many times before, you realize that even now, you're already on the way. If you stop thinking about how you know the way so well, you really hardly have to think about just how you know the way so well. But so you do, and so you know how deep you go. Relax and let the seconds flow, my voice going in and out of your conscious awareness. And now you know how good it feels to go so deep in fact that you're not aware, and neither do you really care about the fact that when people like yourself start to relax deeply, they really begin to feel more comfortable. And when they do, they notice your breathing just begin to slow down. And if you try to make yourself aware of just how much time you think has passed, you'll soon discover that seconds, minutes, moments since we started seem largely inconsequential. Now, as you listen to my voice and allow yourself to drift and dream, as you're floating, drifting, dreaming, rocking, relaxing, releasing, and feeling wonderful as you take in now whatever it is that you're experiencing right now, as you allow yourself to go even deeper, appreciating how good it feels, as you allow your subconscious and unconscious mind to do what it does best, while you simply continue to listen to my voice, is itself an indication that you're accessing a wonderfully deep level of trance so easily and effortlessly that you can allow yourself the luxury of being pleasantly surprised at your own ability to access that state of mind of total relaxation. Now, in a moment, not just yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And when you hear me say the number 5, you'll be back to full waking awareness, back in touch with your body and totally reoriented to your surroundings, and able to drive safely if you have to drive, and ready to get on with whatever you've got planned for the rest of your day or evening. Now, this is a great opportunity for you now to let go of every negative thought, every limiting belief, both known and unknown, conscious or unconscious, that you or anyone else, or maybe just circumstances, has placed on you. 1. Every positive and beneficial message and suggestion that you've heard from me regarding total relaxation is already beginning to work on your behalf and becoming even stronger now. 2. Deep in the storehouse of your subconscious mind. 3. Beginning to be in touch with your body now. 4. And with the next number, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, and feeling fantastic. Welcome back.